Pioneer.
Yo, what is going on, guys? EJ here, bringing another Lord of the Rings Rise to War video. Today, guys, we're going to be going over a full tutorial about Dwalin. Now, he is extremely good for a tier 1 commander. I've been doing a lot of research using him in a lot of battles. We're going to look at some of my past battle reports and stuff like that, show you all the builds and everything. I got him respect decent. I think I'm like respect 12 or something with him now, if we have a quick look. Respect 11, sorry. And my gear is pretty decent. I'm going to explain all that, so let's get into it, shall we? So, Dwalin, he is an absolute warrior, which gives the effect of plus 25 might plus 2 skill points, and commander's physical damage plus 10%. He has a 75 command point value, which puts him up there with Gandalf the Grey and White and such. Now, for gear, you want to focus on gear that is going to increase your might, because he is very good at physical damage. Now, the first piece of equipment I have here is the Warhammer, which not only gives might, but gives army defense for dwarfs, which, when we go over the troop selections and that later on, we will be talking about them, because there is a lot of those that we definitely want to talk about, because we will be using a lot of dwarves, so to say. So yeah, and as you can see, the sub-skill of Dwarf Strength, it increases Dwarf allied units damage plus 7.4%, so that's pretty good there. Then we have the Superior Hauberk, which increases my might plus 30 and army defense plus 15. So, as you can see, that's also going to stack on top for the dwarves. So we're going to have a lot of defense there. And we have Fire Protection, which reduces my burn damage by 10%. Unfortunately, I don't have any to refine, otherwise this will be good. We're going to be going over not only versing good, but evil as well today. And yeah, as you can see, my gear is going to reflect that. Then you can see we have the full helm here, which increases my might plus 45, plus the sub-skill Blinding Barrier, which the tier 2 knights, focus, burn, and poison damage is reduced by 49.9%. Very useful. I will be explaining that as well about using them. And then I have the Night Star, which increases my might and stuff like that. It has the Bane of the Uruk-hai, which I use this in some battles, and then some other battles I was using this Hif lane. I have a lot of commanders and stuff like that who are all leveled up. They're all messed up around the place at the moment. But I'm going to show you reports and everything of all these battles. Now then, for skilling, there is 2 different skill setups that I have used for Dwalin. Now, having him at Respect 11, which is not crazy to say the least for a Tier 1, it's definitely achievable for any player that's been playing since Season 1, especially if you've been using him. Now, this is my favourite skill build for him here, particularly between good and evil. It is a very high damage dealing setup. As you can see, we've got a lot of points in the skill damage for commanders, in the Durin's Blood, and then we have Whirlwind and All In, which just does immense amounts of physical damage on round 2 and 3, or technically it's round 3 and 4. Then we have Collaboration over here, which gives extra damage for commander normal attacks. I started putting a skill in Hunt down. We max out our Experienced Warrior, which increases our commander's attack, as well as maxing out a Musician, which increases not only army speed, but army defense plus 15, and army attack 3, which comes in very, very good handy. Now, there is a different build that we can use as well. Basically, all you want to do is you just want to take your 15 points from Musician onto your Warrior of the Lonely Mountain, which is going to give you a reduction of 15% physical damage received, as well as the max level effect of burn damage received minus 50. You can also then change the skill points from All In, which is really good, but it's good to throw it onto Longbeard and increase your commander's physical damage even more. So that's how I'm running skills and that with him. Now we're going to go have a little talk about troops. Rightio guys, so now let's talk about troop combinations. So let's go into Dwalin here, and I'm going to show you a few troop setups. Let's just heal those troops real quick. So, Dwalin, as you can see, at the moment, this is my favorite setup for troops when doing maximum damage. So I will show you here. So we have, I usually run at least 25 to 3,000 of these. I usually run about 100 bears. I was playing on my phone before, so it's not even. I usually run this setup. It's extremely good. Don't be worried about it only saying 75,000 attack. That's really good. As you can see, my Gandalf the White there only has 75. But the Guardians are going to do their absolute job with the defense buffs of 158. Are extremely good. We've got them all maxed out. So they're going to take a lot of the damage. But we also want to be running Sentinels, which I've seen a lot of people using this. So I tried it out for myself, and I can understand why they're using it with Dwalin. Because the evasiveness is extremely good. So I love running the Sentinels, and then the Bears. I don't know what else to say with Bears except for they are the best all-round troop in the entire game. They are absolutely amazing. Without a doubt, I think the best troop nearly out of all troops. Like, they're just so versatile and easy to use in any commander's troop combination. Excellent, to say the least. But yeah, this is my favorite troop setup. I highly recommend you try this one out. I'm going to give you examples why. I've got some screenshots of some big battles that I got in earlier. This is extremely good setup. Now, if you're going against evil, there is different things that we can be doing. So I'm just going to give you an example. I've got some screenshots of some battles and that I got in. But using the Ram Riders as well as the Knights that I talked about, because the Knights are going to, not only will they have still good attack as well as HP in that, they have buff of damage received plus damage received from melee, another 15% for his Alchemist R15. Plus that helmet is going to reduce damage by an absolute ton. Extremely good. Also, if you don't want to use the Knights or don't have a setup I have, you can just always throw in your Master Throwers, which do extra damage towards large units and melee units. So very useful there. So that is the troop combinations that I would use on Dwalin. But yeah, the first one I've shown you is definitely my absolute favorite, which matches with the skill setup that I first talked about with the physical damage. You want to be using these sort of setups when for going against Witch Kings and that, which I do have a battle report in that. So yeah, let's go have a look at some of these battle reports, shall we? Rightio, guys. So as you'll see through some of these reports, these are some that I was versing Evil when I was versing Gundabad a while ago. These were done when I was playing on phone and that, and it was just full-on Chaos War. So I can't fully break down, but I can give you an idea. So as you can see in this first one here, we had a 40 level 7 Dwalin, and I had my full fire setup. I was trying to hunt for Witch Kings, but as you can see, you did have some pirates on there that do fire damage, and we know KHALDOON absolutely mincemeats like our Theodens and stuff like that. And as you can see, we've had an excellent. As you can see, he was near full health with his HP pretty high there. But as you can see, we've done extremely well. He's extremely good at doing that physical damage, and the anti-fire proof setup of the troops is extremely good. As you can see, the next one, guys, we absolutely wiped this Mouth of Sauron here, which had a bunch of tier 4 champions there. As you can see, we did extremely good. As you can see, guys, now with Dwalin versus Mouth of Sauron, a level 49. Keep in mind, this is when Dwalin was level 47. As you can see, we had an amazing hit here with all these tier 4 he had. We still had our anti-burn resistant setup here. And this wasn't even with our physical setup, which would have absolutely minced me, which we'll later look on a little bit later. And the last one for you guys, as you can see, is the Witch King, which we did pretty good. Now, he did strengthen his Witch King a lot from 3,000 to up to 5,000 Alchemists in this battle. It was a pretty good battle, to say the least. Definitely would take it. The anti-fire setup was definitely good. If I could have leveled up my Hallberg armor, instead of having 10% up to maybe like 50% fire reduction, this setup would be absolutely insanely good. The Knights did pretty good. Instead of like receiving like 25,000 damage, normally they only took 12,000 damage, so they fully reduced that damage. But yeah, I think it was a very good setup, to say the least, versus a pretty decent Witch King, but not the world's strongest. A Whale Witch King would still absolutely wipe me in this setup. But just wanted to let you know. Yeah, now we're going to have a look at a couple of good battles, guys. So let's go, shall we? Rightio, guys. So for a good setup, we're going to be showing you a setup that we had at the moment here, where we're using the Guardians, Bears, and we're using the Axe Throwers at the time instead of the Sentinels. This is before I tried out the Sentinels. As you can see, it did extremely well here against a level Theoden, which may I say was quite a very good Theoden. Like, when you have a look at this and have a look at all that gear, that is a pretty decent Theoden. Like, of course, this could have been leveled up a bit, but looking at the rest of the gear, really good. Very well skilled as well, to say the least, and pretty decent leveled respect there. And as you can see, we did fantastically here. As you can see, we did 370,000 damage after he did his 56,000 healing. We took 229,000 damage. Now, as you can see, our troops did extremely well. The Axe Throwers do really great here because they do a lot of damage versus the melee units. So they came in very good handy versus Theoden. So this is a very good setup to show you how these troops work. And of course, my skill build here was my physical attacking, and we use the same gear as before. So this is definitely my favorite setup without an absolute doubt. Give or take these guys, especially when I'm versing a lot of Lotr, I usually change these out for Sentinels and stuff like that. I like to have a bit of avoidance because the Bears do a lot of damage, and the Guardians are going to reduce the amount of damage intake. But yeah, just showing you at level 50, Dwalin can hang with some of the best commanders out there without an absolute doubt. Just remember, he is a tier 1. Theoden is an extremely OP tier 2 with Bree Riders and such. Did fantastically there, to say the least. Yeah, but that's going to wrap it up for Dwalin. I think he is absolutely fantastic, to say the least. But yeah, guys, I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. And until next time, peace out, EJ's out. And I'll catch you guys later. See you. Of the EJU army, yeah, you guys are legends to me, so let's keep up this grind. I'll never give up, just like